Hey there, and welcome to Event Alchemy. I am so excited to share all of this with you. So basically, this is the art of strategy of theming your event so that it feels magnetic, aligned, and profitable. So I did this. Let me just make my slides biggie. Okay, so I did this for my last bundle and it was amazing. And I'm hoping that I can share like my experience, but also what I did and the results from adding a theme and all of that good stuff. So, let's just get started right away and dive right in. So, what is Event Alchemy? Event Alchemy is basically how I transformed a simple bundle into a cohesive, high converting experience using one powerful theme, and how you can infuse that same magic into any event you create, whether it's a summit, whether it's a bundle, whether it's a workshop. You can use this all around in all of the things that you do. So I actually decided that I was going to theme my event without even realizing what I was doing. And then after the fact, I'm like, oh, this is very cool, adding a theme to my bundle. It's like I was excited about it. I was excited about creating the bundle, writing the copy, creating the graphics and the imagery for my bundle. So it just can add that little bit of excitement during your time of planning and prepping your for your bundle or your summit or whatever it is that you're doing. So I just wanted to share with you some results that I believe are due to having a theme on my bundle. So when I themed my most recent bundle, which was in November of 2025, it was my first bundle, by the way, that I created. And I decided that I was going to theme it. Like I said, wasn't actually, didn't actually know I was doing it when, until I was doing it. But we got 1,500 total signups, and I added 1,150 brand new email subscribers to my list. And I say 1,150, I'm just rounding it up. So a theme can turn your event into not just same old boring summit or bundle, but an experience that converts. So here's the thing. This is what is true. Bundles and summits and giveaways and all of those things are the new normal. So how and what are you going to do to stand out? I got so many I got so many nice comments about my bundle. I got so much good feedback. And actually, like after I sent out the thank you and the survey, a lot of people replied and filled out the survey, which was surprising because I've sent out surveys after summits before, and I'm lucky if I get a couple of people fill it out, right? So it actually even made a difference there, which is super, super cool. Okay, so why themes work? Your event needs a feeling. People don't connect to logistics, they connect to vibes, emotions, stories, and worlds. A theme gives your event its feeling. Can you feel the feels even while I'm even just saying this to you? Like, the first couple of slides that we've been through already, could you feel the energy behind the work that I put into my last bundle? Like, tell me if you could feel that. I doubt that you couldn't. So, like, what is that you're feeling when you look at this, right? Like, I'm feeling happy, excited. I'm feeling like the Bridgerton vibes, even though I couldn't use the word Bridgerton. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But just remember the feelings, the feelings. Okay. So, why themes work? Well, themes they're just going to naturally increase your conversions. A strong theme creates instant clarity, instant curiosity, and instant connection. This is why a themed event can feel faster and sell better. And not only did it connect, it connected to another level because like I went with elegant affair, like a grand affair type thing, right? And although I could not use the word Bridgerton or because that's copyright, right? Um, People knew what I was trying to go for. Like people could put their finger on it right away. And it was so exciting because I was getting, replies to my emails. I was getting feedback from the contributors, and it was amazing all in all. But the curiosity bit also, and I'll explain a little bit. I'll get into that more in a few slides. So here are a few of my graphics, and these were the favorite throughout. So here's the thing with bundles and summits, like we don't need a ton of graphics, right? We just need like a handful of really good graphics. And to be honest, like the people, the contributors in the bundle that I hosted, they kept using the same graphics over and over again, which is the one with the ballroom in the back. That was like a very popular one, and there was a couple of other ones that people were using. I even animated a few graphics, and that was super easy to do. And I'll show you how I did that a little bit later on. So here's the stat. So this is crazy to me, and I didn't know that this was the data, but I had 80 contributors in my last bundle. I know. Wow. Amazing, right? And actually 80 might sound like overwhelming, but truly it actually wasn't. Like the part that got like a little bit more busy was testing the 80 offers that were in the bundle, but also adding all of that to, I use Thrivecart to host my summits and bundles. So just adding all 80 contributor offers to that, in the end, that's kind of like what took the most time. And truly, it's what I like doing. So, but if you are doing that yourself, or if you have a VA helping you, like it's not a big deal. So crazy, that's 97% of the people, my collaborators that promoted. They were all excited to promote. They promoted more because of the theme. It was exciting. Their audience was feeling it, loving it, vibing with it. It was so cool. I couldn't actually believe, like I was like in awe because I was like, oh my God, like people, like contributors were sending 3 to 4 emails in that one week. They were they were sharing it on social media. It was truly awesome. And the two people that did not promote, I get it because one, she was moving across country and it was just like her plate was full. And I kind of pushed her to be in the bundle, even though maybe she would have said, like, I just can't do it this time. I kind of pushed her to be in the bundle. And the other person, truly, it slipped her hands. She was like, in the middle of a huge trip, and it just kind of slipped. So truly, I think that the 80 would have promoted, except for those two, but like life happened, right? So isn't that insanely good? Most bundles and summits see 40 to 60% promotion rates. Now, I'm going to say that it is higher for me. Like when I've hosted my summits, the percentage was very much higher. But that's all about how good of a job we do with keeping our contributors and speakers in the loop of all things and being organized and all that stuff, which is something for another day. But I teach that stuff in my summit course and in my bundle brilliance. This is almost double the industry average, all because the theme created excitement and pride. How cool is that, right? Okay, next. These are just like some really kind words that, like I was saying before, right? Like people filled out the survey. They wanted to tell me what they thought about this bundle. So, and I got many more like this, but here's just a few. Most beautiful bundle I can imagine. So creative. Loved that it was with free with no VIP level. So I also did that for my last bundle. It was purely for email list growth. Thank you for all the work. I couldn't believe you said this is your first bundle. Um, and then the next person said, what I loved most about this bundle was how innovative and future focused the Evergreen Expert Society theme felt. It genuinely felt like I was joining a creative collaborative instead of participating in a typical bundle. The entire experience had this elevated, intentional vibe that made it stand out. And the way you provided so many beautiful graphics, swipe copy options, and done for you assets honestly showed just how much effort you poured into making this seamless for all of us. It made contributing feel easy, fun, and genuinely exciting. And then a couple more. I loved it. The theme was so cute. I could practically hear that old-timey song from all those period piece coalitions. Coalition, did I say that right? So much fun. The theme was my absolutely fave. So fun. I enjoyed tailoring my emails to the theme, and my audience loved it too. Also, the clear communication from start to finish made the collaboration an absolute breeze. Cool. And then another one, I absolutely loved being part of the Evergreen Expert Society. Julie made the whole process effortless and fun, and the results speak for themselves. Blah, blah, blah. It was one of the most beautifully executed collaborations I've been part of, and you could feel Julie's heart and attention to detail in every part of it. This is what like theming the event did. Like, see, you can feel the feelings that these people, these attendees and these collaborators are feeling. Okay, enough about that. So, how I chose my theme. So, the first thing I did was I started with the vibe. Before I chose a name or a structure, I chose the vibe. And actually, to be completely honest, I had already chosen the theme for my bundle because I decided to theme it after, but um, after I decided on the theme, I tweaked the name of my bundle a little bit, and it went from the Evergreen Expert Bundle to the Evergreen Expert Society Bundle, which like gave it that like grand affair feel and vibe, right? I chose it to be elegant, feminine, celebratory, Bridgerton vibes, right? But knowing that you can't, like, I couldn't use Bridgerton, like, word in any of my things and or copy, any of the characters or anything like that. So the feeling came first. And to be quite honest with you, like, later on, I'll talk to you about the GPT that I created for you to help you choose a theme for your event. But I knew in my mind kind of like what I was going for and what vibe and feel I was aiming to achieve. And so that's kind of like what me and ChatGPT discussed and came to, when creating the images and everything else for the bundle. So, that being said, I have now created a custom GPT to help you with everything that I spent lots of hours chatting about with, ChatGPT. And like anything else, I always keep the conversation going with Chatty. I ask questions and I dive deeper and stuff like that. So, something to keep in mind. So, number two, build inspiration. So I pulled inspiration from, well, actually I didn't, but because I had in my head what I wanted. But this, if you're thinking like, well, I don't know, like where can I get inspiration? Like you can get inspiration anywhere, like Pinterest, Canva AI mood boards, color palettes, soft florals, vintage details. Like the list like goes on and on and on and on. And depending on what AI tool you are using to create images, you can also get ideas in there, right? Like I know that when I log into Midjourney, there's all kinds of images there that can help you be the base of, your theme kind of thing. So, which is really cool. This helped me see the world I wanted to create. And so, um, I know I keep referencing the GPT, but I'm actually going to do a separate training to go with this event Alchemy about how to use the GPT and the endless possibilities that are available and how you can create those images, how you can like it's just like all around really, really cool. Um, but yeah, like the the inspiration is endless, truly. Like, and word of not advice, but just like warning, you can go down a serious rabbit hole when you start doing this. Just saying. Okay, number three, align it with the event. So a theme only works if it aligns with your audience, your offer, your vibe, and the type of experience you want them to have. So keeping this in mind, I really truly encourage you to go with something that feels right for you, that is on brand for you, right? Like this whole theme, and you'll be able to have a look at it. But this whole theme completely vibes with me. Like it's who I am. It matches my brand. Like, and I'm not saying that it has to be matchy matchy, but like it wasn't a surprise that I chose this theme for my event, if that makes any sense. The theme must support your goals, not distract from them. So I truly encourage you to think about these things, but they're not set in stone, right? Like take this, but then also just go and be free with it. It's your opportunity to be creative and just use your imagination and make something truly, truly magical. Okay, so this step four, the click moment, and this is a little bit what I was talking about. You'll know your theme is right when you feel lit up by it. If it excites you, it will excite your contributors and attendees. I promise you, this is, if you remember anything from this presentation, this is what you want to remember. All right, so bringing the theme to life. So your theme shapes everything visually, right? Like it's kind of like the visual and then with the story behind it, right? But we're going to start with the visual. So we're going to think about colors, textures, graphics, AI images and layouts, right? Because and by layouts I mean like okay, do you need horizontal photos or portrait photos for your website, for your graphics, and all of that good stuff? And when I go into, I use Canva AI to create my images, and I'll tell you a little bit backstory about that later. But I just want to share with you that whatever tool you're using, you may get different outputs. And so, and again, I'll talk about that a little bit, but this is the aesthetic world of your event. So it's the imagery, the textures, the colors, the graphics, and everything that is going to bring this to life for you. We're very visual people, and I think that, when this can honestly stop the scroll, stop the emails, like not the emails, but like get people reading the emails, get people onto your landing pages, etc. Cool. So here are some of the images that I created. And in a little bit, I'm going to go in Canva and I'm going to show you the process from A to Z, like how I started, what was the middle messy to how I ended up with these images. And here are a few more. Um, Okay, so now we are bringing it into the experience. So the theme isn't just visuals, it's how the event feels, right? We already talked about that. Contributor excitement skyrocketed because it felt like fun, not work. And I'm repeating this because we already talked about this, but this the key, the magic sauce to this is that contributor excitement skyrocketed because it felt like fun, not work. Remember, like when I was saying they were actually really, truly excited about sharing my event. And like, my audience is mostly female entrepreneurs, primarily my age group, which is like, the 40s to the 60s kind of deal. And we're all kind of like love Bridgerton. Or for the majority of us anyway. So it was like, it was just so cool seeing it come to life. And I want that for you too. So, why does it convert better? Well, a strong theme creates emotion, it creates excitement, it creates engagement, it creates trust, which leads directly to conversions before you ever pitch. So, the thing is that and to be honest, like I did not have my theme before I started getting contributors. My theme came after. So, and there's no right or wrong here. If you've already started working on your bundle or summit and you're like, oh, this would be so cool, I'm going to do this, it's not a big deal. Like you can add your theme after you've already, pitched your summit to get speakers or your bundle, etc. So, when I first was looking for contributors, there was no theme vibes at all inside of my Google Doc to explain what my bundle was about to potential contributors. It was after that I added it. Um, but I'm wondering, I think I'm wondering now, would I've gotten more applications if the theme was already included in the bundle before I was looking for contributors? Anyway, I guess we'll have to see in the future. Okay, my numbers don't lie. So your theme did the heavy lifting. Or my theme did the heavy lifting. Hundreds of shares, contributors promoting harder, high email open rates, 100 plus, no, 1,000 plus new subscribers. This is why I call it Event Alchemy, right? And I'm not going to go deeper into this. I already kind of went over this with you. And also, just to let you know that I hosted my event, I had no VIP offer, even though this bundle didn't have a classic VIP like a summit or, some bundles had VIP offers. The theme itself still created massive buzz, engagement, and results. When I hosted my bundle, it was primarily for email list growth, and I wanted to keep it super simple. And that's what I teach in Bundle Brilliance. But I didn't want to fuss around with, the VIP upsell and all that good stuff and having like two tiers and all that stuff. So I kept it super simple. And people actually loved and appreciated that. Not saying, they're either or, it doesn't matter. Like they're both awesome. So your event alchemy framework is inspire, align, and infuse. This is the simple process behind any magnetic theme. Theme starter questions. So here are a few questions that you can ask yourself when you're starting to think about theming your event. Now, keep in mind, I also have a GPT, a custom GPT to help you do this. But what do I want people to feel? And this I know, like kind of important, but not that much. What world am I inviting them to? Like now, this is getting exciting, right? Like, what vibe aligns with my offer? What mood would I create if this were a party? So, what vibe aligns with my offer? I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I was doing this. I hosted my bundle. I added a theme. I did not have any plans of launching anything come after my bundle. I just wanted to do the bundle. But to be honest, what happened is that because I am the summit queen, I was like people need to do this. So I created a program called Bundle Brilliance and I launched that after. And so I didn't know what vibe was going to align with my offer because I wasn't offering something after. I just wanted to do a fun bundle that would get people who were my ideal clients onto my list. So these are just kind of like optional questions to ask yourself, but to think about. You know what I mean? Okay, so I am super excited because I created this GPT. I am going to do a separate training for this. Meet Your Theme Alchemy GPT, your creative co-pilot for building a magical, cohesive event world. This GPT will help you brainstorm aligned theme ideas, clarify the emotional tone and vibe, refine your theme into a full identity, get AI image prompts for Canva, Midjourney, etc. Like the prompts are, they can be used for any the AI platform that you use. Build visuals that actually match your theme. Avoid copyright issues. Keep all graphics cohesive and on brand. It's like having your own creative director inside your laptop. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. You bring the vision, the GPT helps you turn it into a world. I tested it a couple of times. It's really, really cool. And I'm actually in the training that I'm going to do. So you can go inside of the portal where this course is, and you can go and find your custom GPT. And I will have a quick training on how to use it inside of there and actually show you what I got out of it. And this image right here actually is an image that I created using a new theme for a fictitious bundle or summit that I was going to create. So it's really cool. So go find that. It's really a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. And please, 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 if you're playing with this and you theme your event, and I want to see what you create. Like I absolutely love AI generated themes, and I want to see what you come up with. Okay, the theme infusion where the magic actually happens. Infuse your theme into the story of the event. So this is also super important. Like it's one thing to have a theme, and it's one thing to have the theme show up in the graphics and in the images and everything, but you want it to be infused in the story of your event as well. It's not just graphics. Your theme becomes the story your attendees step into. Here's where it should show up. So you want your theme to show up on your sales page, on your registration page, right? On your checkout page, like if they're signing up for something for free or paying or whatever the case might be. You want it to be like everything that you create for your event should be infused with the story of your theme. Now, what I have done, and I'll give you a link to that in a moment, is that you can visit my bundle page. I'm keeping it live so that you can see how I infused my registration page with the story of my theme. So use the theme to shape your headlines, your section names, your hooks and your promise, your micro copy, your descriptions, your transitions. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like everything. Everything has to be infused with the story of your theme, whatever that ends up being. So for example, you can look at the juliecbutler.com/evergreen-expert-society, and I'm going to have it linked actually under this video. But you see what I mean? Like, okay, the Evergreen Expert Society, step into the season of sustainable success, a limited time collection, which I put bundle there so people knew it was a bundle, of 75 plus courses, templates, and tools to help you automate, scale, and sell with ease, valued at over 5K plus. Join before the ballroom doors close. And I put like, yes, it's a bundle, but we made it fun. And at the top, don't be fashionably late, doors close soon. And you can scroll through the page and you can see how I've infused it with the story of the theme throughout the whole registration page. And I have done the same for my host emails, right? Set the emotional tone, add gentle metaphors, make the journey cohesive, reinforce the world that they stepped into. Example, today we're walking into the glade of momentum. Here's your light for the day. Your path through the grove continues. Like these are just like examples, not heavy-handed, just soft touches that bring the world to life. I love this graphic. Like she's so cute, right? And not just that, but also the contributor emails, right? Like this is where your theme does major heavy lifting. These infused emails make contributors more excited, more aligned, more likely to promote, more connected to the container, right? Like I talked about before. Examples, your light of creativity is officially approved. Like these are just some examples, not having anything to do with my theme specifically, but just like in general, to give you an idea. This is one of your secret weapons. And five, event flow and experience. The theme influences what you call each day, how you introduce speakers or contributors, how you describe your sessions, the emotional tone of your host videos, how your attendees feel inside the event. But not just that, like I had, because I hosted a bundle, I had different themes, right? Like everything was categorized into different themes. And I even like found different names for the categories. So instead of being like, I don't know, evergreen funnels, it was called like I'm not saying that's which one it was, but I had like, the archive parlor, and I have like different things like that. Like it was super, super cool. And people loved it. Small intentional language choices equals massive emotional impact. Okay, how your theme turns into images using AI. Your theme isn't just a vibe, it becomes your visual guide. You choose the world you're creating. The theme tells you the colors, the mood, and motif. Now, of course, like anything else, you can adjust anything, right? Like you can play around, like I obviously use ChatGPT to help me come up with the prompts, but I told it, like if I wasn't happy with the mood or the colors or whatever, I just kept on going with ChatGPT until I got the perfect images. AI takes your cues and turns them into visuals. Canva becomes a playground to build your event universe. When the theme is clear, the prompts are easy. Let me show you. Okay, so I did a separate recording for this because I wasn't sure how long it was going to be, and I wanted to keep it separate from the training itself. So I am just going to scroll down because I want to find. So first of all, you go into Canva and then you click on Canva AI, and then, well, here, let me do it. So if you are home and you go to Canva AI, and then I just designs, and then I just click on, whoops, Canva AI, my images. Like it takes a little bit, I find it takes a little bit of clicking around to get to here, but eventually you do. So I wish there was an easier way to organize these. Okay, they kind of stay there. And if there is, I haven't figured out how to kind of like put these into some type of folder or something. But you can see as I scroll down, you can see these are stock images that I created for different sales pages on my website. And I want to truly bring you back to the first images I started creating for my event. So in my head, I knew I wanted to be like elegant, like mid-century, or not necessarily mid-century, but I wanted to be like, the big poofy dress, like Bridgerton. Like, I truly wanted to be like that. But I didn't know, like I was talking to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, this is my vision. Let's come up with a prompt to create these images. And some of the first images we created, like some of them were cool, but I was trying to get something that was unique, something that was going to stand out, and something that was, I don't know, like, what I had in my head. So, but the thing is that I didn't realize until I realized that I wanted like a cartoonish feel. Is this it? Is it gonna stop going? Oh no, here we go. Okay. Okay. It's thinking about it. So, but I didn't know that's what I wanted until actually I created an image like that, and I was like, that is what I want. So that's why I say, like, don't like if at first you don't succeed, don't get discouraged, and certainly don't give up. Okay. And I'll give you a little bit of the thought process as I was creating these images, as to what I was thinking in my mind and like what I was going for, um, without kind of knowing that what I was actually going for. Because at the beginning, sometimes you don't really know. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like it kind of takes you on another path. And so I'm going to keep scrolling. Maybe I should have done this before I hit the record button, but that's okay. You kind of get the a scroll view because at first I thought I was going a different direction and I was like, oh, this is what I really like kind of like illustrated, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you in Mid-Journey. Like try me in Mid-Journey, like we're not really friends. I tried using Mid-Journey to create some of these images and it was god awful. I was like, what is happening? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So, okay, so you can see here, wow, I created so many images. So in Canva AI includes like so many credits. Then once your credits are out, you kind of got to wait a month before, you know, you have to wait a month before your credits like uh reload kind of thing. Like once a month you get a reset, right? Okay. I think this is where I started. So, and I'm not gonna, because if I click this is gonna bring me all the way back to the top. So just so you get an idea of what the prompt is, romantic Regency flat lay with vintage items. Like here at this point, I wasn't truly certain what I was going for, but I started kind of like with this vibe. Now, keep in mind, this is before I had the custom GPT, the event Alchemy GPT, and this is before I knew I was theming my event. Like it kind of happened after. And so and then I just kept playing around with the prompt, like downtown. Like at first, I was like Downton Abbey, and then I was like Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria. Like I played around with the vibe, and then I was like, how about like Jane Austen, which by the way, we can totally use in this theme because she is in the public library. No, not public library, but you know what I mean. Oh, the public domain. Sorry, public domain, not library. What am I talking about? Okay. Jane Austen cottage core picnic. So I was kind of like going for this vibe. Then I was like, okay, well, let's create some images, Bridgerton vibe, ladies in the garden kind of thing with the really nice dresses and they twirling around and but it kind of like they were really beautiful images like if I click on it like really really pretty beautiful. um but again, not quite what you just know, right? And these, like, although they're beautiful images, they're kind of like, okay, it's like truly, I'm just not feeling it. And I really like this one because it had a guy in it. And, although my people are primarily female entrepreneurs, this was like, okay, well, if guys want to join my bundle, that's totally okay too, right? And so I kept going, I kept playing around, like, and I love this one. However, they're not wearing period dresses. And so I'm like, okay, well, this isn't gonna work. Like, let's keep working on this, right? And so we kept going, and this was like, candid Regency ladies dancing, laughing, sun flare, ethereal. Is that how you say it? Anyway, and I kept going in the gardens, but the vibe just wasn't there. And by that, I mean I wasn't feeling it, even though like I really truly love some of these images and keeping the diversity in them, right? Men and women enjoying outdoor regency, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, okay, well, like what does a garden look like? And what are some like maybe some close-up details and here, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Bridgerton style images. I think because it said images, so it added four images to the thing, which was like, okay, why'd you do that? But anyway, sometimes when you have to be careful about how you say things because it will actually give you images. So Bridgerton style of indoor parlor. I'm like, okay, well, what does a parlor look like? And then this like what? Like a picnic in the living room? Like, why? So, like you can see how the instructions of how, so sometimes you have to just reword your prompt in a way that, okay, like what it's getting is that it wants me to do a picnic setup in the parlor. So, just playing around and then I kept playing. These were a bit too dark for what I was aiming for. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this, but I'm like, a parlor, I don't know, like it's not really what I'm like going for. So I went back to the, elegant Bridgerton inspired garden soiree. And they were still not really the vibe I was trying to, accomplish. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's see. What does it look like with the Regency garden style life? Blooming roses, wisteria. Like sometimes when you give instructions of like adding flowers, it just adds too much of them and way everywhere. And so this, I didn't bother, but you could tweak this, And I went for the painterly texture, no people, elegant and quiet, soft shadows. And then I did this Regency era promenade, men and women walking through flower-covered path, some twirling parasols, others laughing together, warm afternoon light, la da da, painterly illustration style, whimsical. So this is where they started getting funky. And I'm like, first of all, some of these images have way too many people in them. Some of them are like, what is this? Like she's kind of backwards. And they really like, what is happening? And sometimes AI just has trouble with a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah, just no. So I kept going in hopes that I was going to get what I was truly going for. Um, but it was more like couples that were coming out. And I'm like, no, I don't want couples. And although I really like these, it was kind of like, I don't know, I still wasn't feeling it. This was way too dark. And then I was, okay, give me some details. And so these were cool, but I don't know. So I kept going. I kept going. These are nice. They're really pretty, but it wasn't it yet. So I kept going with the illustration. And it wasn't until, like you see, they're so inconsistent. It wasn't until, like some of these are awful. Like, look at this. Like, what is happening here? Like, some of these are so, like, what? And then some of them, and then, I mean, these are obviously, there's no people in them, so they're not bad, but it was just kind of like, okay, and I don't know. So I kept going and I kept going. And I kept going, and some were cartoonish, and some were like, I don't even know, like comic book-ish. Now, these were real-ish, but dark. It wasn't until I got to these that I was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this. And then this was a play, I was playing with this because then I'm like, well, maybe if I join Mid-Journey, I can get better images. So I took a prompt from Midjourney and I put it in here. How cute are these, right? But I went back to my vibe, right? And I kept going and I kept going, like too many people. I'm like, why is there so many people? Okay. And I would ask like ChatGPT, can you help me? Like there's too many people in this image. How can we tweak the prompt so that there's not so many people? I kept going, I kept going, and then I got some details, and I was like, okay, what does it look like? Like one female in the garden with a journal, and then I was like, okay, well, she's not smiling. And then some more details, and these came out beautifully, except this one is more cartoony. And then I kept going and I kept going, and I really, really love this one. This one was truly beautiful. Like it's a little bit illustration and just a couple more that I enjoyed that I liked. Now I really like, I was starting to feel the illustration vibe. And so I kind of went with that and I created some desktops and stuff like that with the illustration. And then so I was still playing around. I was still playing around like some like cartoony and some not. And then it wasn't until like I just kept going, right? I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. And then I got to these images and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I'm really feeling this." Now this is the one. This is the one that I truly fell in love with. Oh, not this one, sorry. This was the one that I truly fell in love with at first, but it had like some wonky stuff happening here, like a glove and then no glove. And there was, it wasn't perfect. And I put it on my website for a little bit to play on the Evergreen page, the bundle page. And I was like, "Yeah, this could work." And so I tried using that vibe to create some more images. And it wasn't clicking. I tried to fix the glove. It didn't fix it. And I just kept going and going and it truly it wasn't sitting with me. And here I kept going with the just like background. This was like an ornate Regency garden scene, golden hour, painterly illustration, expressive, no people, archway covered blooming roses, elegant garden. And then it had a Bridgerton like style estate in the background. And I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And I don't know, like they were inconsistent in look. So you see now how many I created to get to where I wanted to go, to where I was like, oh, this is it. So I kept going until I got to an image that I was like, ooh, I like this vibe. It was like kind of like illustration, kept going. At first, I was like, "Okay, I'm kind of feeling this. This could be fun." And then I just kept going and going and going. So I'm just gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. Like you see, sometimes they just end up being like this, where sometimes it's like this. Like you're just like it was inconsistent. But I kept going. Magic word, kept going, kept going. I really truly enjoyed some of these. These were really pretty. Then when I started seeing some of these, I was like, oh, I'm feeling the cartoonish. So I kept playing around. I kept playing around. Okay, let's go. Let's move on up. Kept playing, kept playing, kept playing. There's a look and feel I was going for, right? And like, I really like this and I like the look. And then I went back to these. Well, what does it look like with like real people? And then sometimes it would like sometimes I tried this like with the cartoonish storybook style. And this is a little bit when it started happening for me right here. And here I started changing my prompt. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I was looking for the fairy tale animation style with where are they? I don't know if it had it here, but it was with the big eyes. Now, I love these, but the people were little, and I'm like, okay, like I just don't want little people. I just want them bigger. So I was using the same prompts but I brought in the cartoonish big eyes, and I'll give you the prompt that I used for the image. But you see now, okay, so now I was getting excited. I was like, yes, this is the vibe I'm going for. But as you can see, still trial and error. Like I'm like, okay, well, they're all looking at me for one, and there's too many people in the image, and like they're all wearing the same thing, just different color. And so I still had to play with the prompt, until I started getting images that, like this one, you can see it's in my slideshow. So I used this one, and there was some more really cute ones. Now, sometimes they were too short. Sometimes the dresses were all the same but different colors. And so I just kept playing around with it. And then I think in these ones, so a group of 4 stylized 3D fairy tale friends with large expressive eyes, diverse appearance and skin tones expressed with Elizabethan inspired court attire. So you see here where I played around with that. So they had like the big collars and stuff like that. This one's cute. And so this is where I started really, really getting the look I was going for. And here is the image. This is like the money shot. And I was like, this is it. So I'm not gonna do this yet because reuse prompt. Maybe I can copy it. Oh, here we go. Okay, a group of 3 to 4 stylized 3D fairy tale friends with express. I just didn't want it to bring me all the way to the top. 3D fairy tale friends with expressive faces and large eyes, diverse in skin tones, dressed in Victorian era gowns with varied silhouettes, corseted bodice, puffed sleeves. So I was like super detailed. Women wear pastel gowns with unique details, men in tailored frock coats and waistcoats, and you can read the rest of it. But this was the prompt that I ended up with. And then I took this image, I opened it up in Canva, and I removed her necklace because it was missing part of it. So I kept on going, I kept on playing to see if I could get some more of those images with the people with the big googly eyes. And then I played around again with the, landscape images. And you've seen some of these in my presentation. So I played around with some of these. And then the details, I started playing with, okay, well, what are details that, I could use? And so I did what do you call this? A phonograph. So I did that, and I did the journal, desk in front of the window and all that good stuff. Um, Now, just playing around with different images and different vibes, and some more of these images to see if I could, get more for um, my promotion and whatever. And then this is where the ballroom came in, my beautiful ballroom, and then some more details, some more ballrooms in different sizes. Then I was trying to do a carousel with horses, but I was like, okay, the horses weren't matching my people. And then, and then I got some of these, and they're a little bit like too much. And then I modified the prompt, and like then they were placing the horses like beside the carousel, and I was like, no, no, no. So I end up like this. Then I tried without horses, and it was like, yeah, no, that's not right. And although some of these are really pretty, they're just like, it just doesn't make sense. Then I played around with some, estates, some staircases, um, some estates again, then some people. But these are like, okay, well, these are not the right kind of people. And I just kept going. I just kept going. And then at some point, my credits expired. So I had to wait until my account, renewed. So every month or whatever to get my credits again. Then I was like, okay, well, let's try to do some details. So with the help of ChatGPT to help me figure out what to ask for. And then I created some more pretty ladies. Some were like, I'm like, what is this? Ah. Um, but I really like there's a few here that I really, really liked. And so I took them, like I just downloaded them and removed the background and stuff like that. So you can see some of these are in my presentation, super cuties. I kept going and going, and sometimes it wouldn't come out quite right. Sometimes you just have to do it again. You just redo the same prompt and it will come out with another one. You've seen her in my presentation and a few of these, and I just kept going. Oh, here's the horses. Like this one was like way too much, but I think I used this one. I think this is the one I used. Or was it one of these? I can't remember. Anyway, and then the staircase inside the doors. I kept going. Some umbrellas, some more horses with carriage, and then some more estate pictures, some more ballroom images, and that's it. So that was for my event. Now, the thing is with Canva AI, you know how you can create them in different sizes, right? So that's what I did. I played around with the different sizes and yeah, and that's it. Now this was just me trying to create some more stock images and I'll show you what I mean. So basically now this is for the GPT that I was creating images, but as an example, I'm just gonna sometimes all you got to do is reuse the prompt but I changed this depending on if you want portrait or landscape or square, but you can also play around with the style. So I believe that at some images I was using cinematic or cinematic concept. I can't remember, but I may have used this at once or twice. So like feel free to play with some of these sometimes to get the look you're going for. I'm just going to leave that now and just to show you. See, now it's the same prompt, different size. And oftentimes the images come out looking different. So let's see now. I really did enjoy this one. Let's try this one. Oops. It's being slow today. And sometimes it does. The image may not meet your policies. Really? Okay. Anyway, so you get the gist of what you're doing. So, it's a lot of trial and error. There's a messy middle. There's the beginning, and it's kind of like trying, okay, like to figure out the vibe. But definitely, I use ChatGPT to help me like tweak, finesse the prompts until I get what I want. And so have fun with that. Oh, and I wanted to show you quickly. So if I go into Midjourney, this is where I animated my images. Okay, and my thing is expired, so look around a bit. So I uploaded my images inside here. Um, okay. And this is what I mean. Like when I was trying to create some of the same images, this is what I was getting. I was like, some of them are really beautiful, but I'm like, this is totally not what I was going for. It's crazy. Like, look at this, like completely different, way too much stuff going on. People looked crazy. But this is how I animated my thing. So I basically just added them into Midjourney. I just wrote like animate it, please. I added the image and then it did this. Like, how fun and cool is this, right? And then these are some of the same images I was trying to recreate in here, and it was just wonky. I didn't enjoy Midjourney at all, except for the animated images. And I believe I animated this one too. So this is where, okay, well, I chose one that didn't have a person dancing through the halls. But this is how I am animated my images. Now I'm sure there's a way to do it in Canva as well. I just haven't played around with video inside of video clip. I haven't played with this yet, so I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I just wanted to show you how I kind of like the process from thought to the end result of the images that I used as part of my event. And I hope this was helpful and have fun. Don't overthink it. Keep going. Don't give up. And I can't wait to see what you create. Okay, now that I've shown you what the beginning, the messy, and the end inside of Canva. Because I use Canva. Now, just keep in mind you can do that in any tool that you use. The real alchemy. Your theme isn't decoration, it's conversion strategy in disguise. And it can transform the entire energy and performance of your event. Like for real. Final note. Your event deserves to feel like an experience. Your audience deserves to feel swept into something magical. And that is the end. I hope this was helpful. So now you can go play with the GPT and you can start creating some of the images that you imagine for your event. Have fun. Certainly don't overthink it. Don't give up. Although at the beginning, I for sure felt like giving up because I wasn't getting the output that I was envisioning. But eventually it came to life and it was so exciting. And I truly want this for you. And